Welcome to day 3 of launch week, where we're announcing metadata and JWT templates. I finally got that right. JWT templates, where you can add fields to your organizations and users. Today we have a really cool demo from Maxwell Hamad. Maxwell, how can we think about using these JWT templates and metadata inside of our applications? What kind of new features does this unlock for people?
You could think of things like wanting to kind of isolate organizations by a tier, right? Maybe you have a concept of platinum, bronze, and diamond organizations in your app. Metadata is going to allow you to define that. You can also leverage JWT templates to actually take that metadata and get it into the access token.
Interesting. So I know that something that's come up a lot as we've kind of partnered with Convex on some certain solutions is this idea of like an odd claim. I'm assuming audience, I don't know for sure, but like an odd claim. Is this something that like a JWT template would help fix?
Yes, absolutely. JWT templates will allow you to override the audience claim and define pretty much any claims that you'd like. Those can be statically defined in your template, or they can be pulled out of the user object or the organization object. That's part of that authentication context.
Well, let's get into a demo and kind of show instead of tell people about it. Let's get your screen up.
So let's imagine that I want to define a language attribute throughout my app. We can see that this user management user, Jane at jane.com, currently doesn't have any metadata defined. So I'll go ahead and set the language attribute on metadata for Jane. And I'm also going to implement the concept of organization tiers. So I'll go over to this org. We can see this org doesn't have any metadata defined as well. I'll go ahead and set this organization's tier to diamond. So now we're in the WorkOS dashboard, and we're going to actually make some of this metadata that we've defined useful to our app. So JWT templates are going to allow us to essentially take this data and inject it into the access token. So one of the first things I'm going to do is select a user, and I'll select the user that we just defined some metadata on. And I'm going to define a new claim called user language. And we can see that the editor kind of guides us here to help us populate these attributes. And the metadata attribute that I just defined actually shows up here. We can also introduce a fallback just in case there's a user in our environment that doesn't happen to have a language set up. As a secondary attribute, I'll add the organization tier, which I'll also drill into metadata to grab. And I'll add a fallback for that one as well. We could also imagine that maybe I want to include the organization domain in this JWT. So I'll go ahead and maybe just include the first domain. We can also explore the attributes available on organizations and users here and copy them and include them directly in the token. Whenever a user logs back into the app or refreshes their session, the metadata is automatically updated in their access token.
Now, watching you demo this, there is a lot. There's a lot going on in this JWT template editor. I'm curious, just from a development perspective, like what was it like to add this whole interface into the dashboard?
It was a pretty huge lift, yeah. We have some folks on the team who are really excellent with defining like code grammars and working with. What's actually being used under the hood is a library called Code Mirror. We considered a few different, embeddable code editors. I've worked with Monaco in the past, which is kind of what powers VS Code under the hood. But we really wanted something lighter weight and something that could also facilitate us defining essentially a custom language. So yeah, a lot of effort went into kind of defining that grammar and really optimizing the experience to make this really discoverable. We wanted people to land in here and have sort of an intuitive sense of what to do, something that would feel familiar.
Well, it's great. I love it. I love all the autocomplete. It's like so It seems so polished for such a brand new feature. Thank you so much for giving us this demo. It looks incredibly flexible, and I know that you have been asking for this functionality for a very long time. So we're excited that you'll be able to give it a try. Let us know, how you find it and what we can do to improve it. If you'd like to learn more, visit workos.com/launch-week to see all of our announcements from this week. We'll see you for day 4.